Hi, this is Lori Kornblum. I'm an attorney and I'm a full-time instructor at MATC, Milwaukee Area Technical College. I also teach at Marquette University Law School and Northeastern University Law School. At MATC, we have a class called PLegal 127 where we learn how to use best case software. So I've created a bunch of tutorials for that. Some are on at Lori Kornblum 8611 and others are at Lori Kornblum 2599. Please feel free to look them up and other educational videos for lawyers and paralegals. So today we are going to do a tutorial about opening a new client file. I have created a fictional case called Ben and Terry Hunter, and we will use that fictional case to enter information. So I'm going to just pause this for a moment so that I can get into the other case. Here you see the best case screen set up, or you should see that. So we're going to click on this envelope on the upper left hand side that says new, and we are going to create an empty client file. So that, and I'm using the best case educational version just in case you need to know that. Okay, so we have the first thing we do is we click on what kind of debtor it is, okay? And then we're going to click on what kind of bankruptcy we are filing. So we are going to make sure that we have the correct forms. We have 2022-04 forms, and that's as far as this particular best case right now is updating. If it needs to update further, it will tag it for later. So I'm going to first demonstrate how you do this as an individual. So let's say we're going to set up for Ben Hunter, and Ben Hunter's completely fictional address is going to be put in later. So Ben Hunter is in Racine. I'm going to index it as Hunter Ben, and office file, let's put it as 2024-006. And the jurisdiction is Eastern District of Wisconsin. So when you first set up a file, you need to make sure that your jurisdictions are installed. And I'm going to just close this for a minute and go back to that. So let's just close this. I'm going to say OK, and we're going to save that file, okay? But when we're setting it up, we want to set up things called jurisdictions. I'm going to X out of here. We're going to go into setup, and we're going to go into jurisdictions. So these are jurisdictions that are used in either some examples that I have or some examples that are already built into best case. But let's say that you are in the Southern District or Northern District of California. Then you have to find the jurisdiction that you want to install. Let's say this is Northern District of California. You select it, and then it will become installed. And then let's say that we want to install another jurisdiction. Let's say we have the District of Connecticut, select. So we want to make sure that we have all the jurisdictions we need. Now, Eastern District of Wisconsin has been labeled our usual jurisdiction, so that's fine. So all we have to do is close this. In addition, when you do your setup, you're going to want to put in your law firm information. We have the fictional MATC law firm with this address and the suite number and a phone number, and you will you can put that there's a student loan relief website, whatever, you just say okay. But if you want to set up a new law firm, then you need to set that up. Also, attorney names, I have installed a few attorney names, but anytime you want to add something to best case, you click add, and let's say that you want to put in the attorney name John Smith. You put in that attorney name. You can actually put in the hourly rate. Let's say it's $200 an hour. Okay. You can add things like his jurisdiction, his username, his password. You can also add state bar numbers if you would like to. You can also put in the paster username and password. So this just makes shortcuts easier. And then anytime you have done something, in best case, you'll see the screen. You can add, modify, delete, set as default, and you can close it. Okay? So let's go back to the file that we started. Since we started it, we're going to go to Open, and let's click on Hunter. All right. So we are going to look at Form 1, the voluntary petition. Although we have not finished setting up that information, we will add information as we go. So his name is Ben Hunter. We're going to index it as Hunter, Ben. I'm going to put in a Social Security of 999-99-9999, which of course is not real. It keeps our office file. Okay. Street address is we're going to put in 6700 College Point Court. And then we're going to put Racine, Wisconsin. And if you put in the zip code, it will tell you what county you're in. And that becomes important because you should put in the county. But it is in the state of Wisconsin. It is in Racine County. So it comes up with blue. Anytime you want to put something in best case, you highlight it in blue and then say select. And then if there's a different mailing address, you put that in. But we are not doing this. So we don't have a non-filing spouse for this example. But then we're going to go to the next tab, which is filing information. So because this is for an individual and it's non-business debts, this is not a business filing, you have to click that. For jurisdiction, they have to have resided in the district for 180 days. We're just going to simplify this and say yes. We are going to use state exemptions, okay? And we're going to use the attorney Janet Larkins. So for this example, we want to make sure the Chapter 7 is clicked. So we're going to click on that. And we are going to go to the next tab. So in Chapter 7 bankruptcies, you have to do consumer credit counseling. So we're going to click on Debtor 1 Counseling. And it is often the practice that they can do the debtor counseling right in the bankruptcy office. So you click on Completed in last 180 days. We're just going to click on today's date. And we are going to say that we have the certificate. Or we're going to say that we completed and we don't have the certificate, but we're going to get it. So we're going to say OK. And then we're going to say, going to prior related. So does our debtor own their own business as a sole proprietor? Let's just say they do. And let's just say that we're just going to put in a new business called Hunter Enterprises, which they operate out of their own home, 6700 College Point Court. And we're going to put in the zip code first because it will put in Racine, Wisconsin. We can put in their contact information. Then we say OK. All right, then we can say the nature of the business. Let's just say sales and marketing. And do they have an accountant or bookkeeper? Name was put in B. Smith. He's their accountant. We could put in their employer ID number, which is, let's just do 44444444. And the date the business existed. They started the business during COVID, so let's just say 4/1/2020 to present, okay? And this is a voluntary petition, and we can list that in part 2, okay? And then we can say OK. So you can enter more businesses too if you want to. So this is a sole proprietorship, but let's say, oh, maybe it's really an LLC. Then we can say LLC, and then we can look in the nature of the business also. and it is not a sole proprietorship. So we're going to uncheck it. Okay? So we have to be correct about that. And then, have there been any other prior bankruptcies filed within the last 8 years? We would have to put that in. And then there's some statistical information that you put there. That we estimates that there's not going to be funds available to distribute to unsecured creditors. And then we just say, okay. So that will be our voluntary petition. So if you want to see how the petition is going to look, you would click on Form 101 Voluntary Petition. You would click on Print, just that little printer icon. You would then click on Print. It's going to generate a lot of error codes. And it's only printing one page. So if you don't want to print it to your regular printer, what you can do is you can click on Print, and then instead of clicking on the printer, you can just say Preview. And then this shows what the voluntary petition looks like. Okay? And you can see that this is the educational version. You can go to the next page, etc., which is clicking up here, and you can see it's signed. So if you want to set up a bankruptcy petition for, let's just say, a new petition, let's do an empty client file, and let's go to next, and let's say that it's a joint debtor, and let's just call them Benjamin Hunter, and then we have a spouse, Terry Hunter. Then the only difference is, so we're going to Ben and Terry, and that says 2024-008, just for the heck of it, Eastern District, and then we're just going to say OK, and it creates that file. So the only difference is when you go into that voluntary petition, you would put in the number. So if you notice, the names are the same. So let's say you say like, oh, I just totally forgot about the spouse. You could just go in and edit Ben Hunter's file if you wanted to. We can put in the street address, which I'm just going to do now here. And then we're going to put in the city, state, and zip, which if we put in the zip code, it will trigger that. And it's in Racine County. And then next tab, debtor 2, we're going to put in her social security number, and the same address as debtor number 1. Then we're going to next tab, and then you see that it's a joint debtor, we're consumer debt, and we're filing a Chapter 7. If we go to the next tab, then we have to do the debtor 1 counseling, which we did again. We're gonna say that they both completed counseling today, and then we're gonna do debtor 2 counseling. Okay, and we're gonna say that they completed that today. So we are not going to have them own the property that needs attention or hazardous material or sole proprietor. We're just going to, and they have no prior related, so we're going to say okay. So this is Ben and Terry Hunter, but let's say that we have decided that filing information, instead of a Chapter 7, let's say that we need to do it as a Chapter 13, we can just change it. Okay, and say okay. So we are going to change the funds available because we do think that there's going to be funds available, and we are going to say calculate the funds automatically. Okay, we want to change the funds available. Okay, so this is anyway, it should be able to work that way. We will say that there's going to be estimated funds for unsecured creditors. So this will bring up all the Chapter 13 plans. It will show you that it's a Chapter 13 file, and it is it will bring up all the forms you need. So that's how you open a new client file. and I will see you on another video for how to start entering information. So thanks, and come back again.